Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. Today we will be comparing all of the free stacking programs for deep sky astrophotography. First, what is stacking? Stacking is combining multiple images to reduce the noise. There are a couple of free programs that I know of and have used for a little bit. You have Siril, which has two modes, the script stacking or the manual stacking, in which the script is faster but gives you less freedom in your settings, and manual is whatever you want to do with the program. You can adjust the way of stacking and that sort of stuff. And then you have DeepSkyStacker, which is a very well-known stacking program, especially for beginner astrophotographers. It is very easy and gives you a couple of options, but not as many as Siril. Next up is ASTAP. ASTAP is a program I learned of from another astrophotographer a couple of weeks ago, which is an older program and it gives you a lot of options, but because it's an older program, the user interface is a bit worse. Then you also have Sequator. It's more like an honorable mention because I couldn't stack my CCD FITS files inside of Sequator because it only stacks DSLR raw data and TIFF files. How will we be comparing the programs? I'll be stacking 18 lights on the Bed Nebula and I'll be calibrating these lights with 6 darks, 15 flats and 80 biases. After stacking, I auto-stretch the stacked files inside of Siril and then we'll be comparing the images together in Photoshop. First, the Siril scripts. The Siril scripts are by far the fastest. It's also, in my opinion, the easiest to use because you just put the different files in the correct folders and click run. The problem for me is that I can't combine multiple nights of calibration files. So for example, I shoot the flats for my first day, then I want to combine the images of the first and second day, then I have different flats for the first day and for the second day, and I cannot calibrate my files separately. I would have to maybe run it twice or something. It's very complicated. Then you have Siril in the manual mode of Siril, which is quite fast at stacking compared to DeepSkyStacker and even to ASTAP. But going through all the options takes quite a bit of time, so it's one of the slower options overall. And you can in Siril manual, using Siril manual mode, you can in fact stack and calibrate different nights together. Then you have DeepSkyStacker, which is fairly quick. It's really easy to use. I think is why it is so popular among newer astrophotographers. And it's also the only program that spits out TIFF files as their stacks. Siril and ASTAP both spit out FITS. So you can't. The thing with FITS files is that you can't open them in Photoshop. So we would have to use either Siril to save it as a TIFF file, or you can use the FITS liberator to liberate the FITS files and set them over into TIFFs. The last one is ASTAP. As I said, the UI is a bit less intuitive compared to the other ones. You have a lot of options, and personally I had to run through the FITS liberator before I could use the auto stretch in Siril, because the auto stretch on the FITS file from ASTAP didn't work correctly. I've brought all of the different images into Photoshop to compare. What I immediately noticed was that DeepSkyStacker on the bottom left here has a different field of view compared to Siril and ASTAP. I think this is down to the to dithering that I did, and the main image, the main file that DeepSkyStacker used for the stacking. Next up, I wanted to do a noise test. I've zoomed in to the top left of the image, which shows some detail. Again, the DeepSkyStacker file is brighter compared to Siril and ASTAP. Also, what can be seen is the noise is very comparable, and I don't think there really is a difference. There is, from my CCD camera, some dead rows, which are calibrated out, but now are visible as black lines. They aren't visible in the DeepSkyStacker file, neither in the Siril manual file, but are slightly visible in the ASTAP file and very visible in the Siril scripts stack. The stars in the images are all very relatively round, and there isn't really a difference to be noted in the stars, in my opinion. So, what can we conclude from this video? Well, personally, I'm going to be using Siril, or keep using Siril, especially the manual function. I think the Siril scripts also has a place for example, when you are the morning after imaging and you just want a quick look at the data before going to work or to school. Then I think Siril scripts is incredible for that. I think DeepSkyStacker, if you're a beginner and you've already learned DeepSkyStacker, because there are a lot of videos about it, then it also is a very competent piece of software. I do think ASTAP is a bit outdated because it didn't fully calibrate the dead rows out, while Siril and DeepSkyStacker both did. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I wish you clear skies.